Dayton ug iyang asawang bulanon
magtiayon sa lalawigan sa Bohol.
ng isang dayuhan at ang kanyang asawang Filipina.
Pitong Congresswoman Alexi Totor ang programang pabahay ng mga asawang Martin sa probinsya ng Bohol dahil sa inisyatibong tumulong sa mga Boholano.
Don't forget to share.
Well, I started my walk. It looks a little like in some parts of the hills there will be some rain. Right now it's over where I live. And if you look, somebody passing. Good morning.
Morning. Solvi.
At the house, I think so. You see Nanay at the house.
Okay.
Okay. There's a man in business selling sardines on his motorcycle, and he has everything that he needs hanging on the motorcycle. Welcome to life in the province of the Philippines. And that, what we're looking back at now, is my home. Now in the foreground is Julio's house, and that tree has grown so big since he built that little house. We helped him to build that little house. And then if you look past over to the right of the big, you'll see a gaping doorway, which is the unfinished house of James and Jessica, and then to the right is the house that they're living in, which is a traditional house. And up there behind that big tree is the house of Lena. That roof that you can see there, look, that rooftop, that split rooftop, is Rado's house. And these are the rice fields, and the rice fields go up and to the side there, and they go up like, well, like tiered rice fields, so that one rice field drains down its water and gives life to the next, which gives life to the next and to the next, until they get down to our bridge. And our bridge we put there when we first came. We used to just do our best to get across what was then a creek, and the creek, when the real big rains came, became an absolute raging torrent. So at first, what I suggested and said I wanted to do, the foreigner coming and making changes, they'd walked across those groups of pebble stones for well, about 50 years without any problem. But when I came, I said we really need to have a ford. So we had Rado and Julio, and they came and they put in huge pebble stones. But what they did was they just built a path across which didn't allow for anything to go underneath. So instead of the water being able to drain underneath, it became a raging torrent over the top. So eventually that was no good, because in the heavy rains, when it's torrential downpour, these hills take so much water, and so we had to build a bridge. But that bridge is a whole other story. And as I'm going out now, I'm looking down, and these are actually rice terraces, but they can be cultivated for other things. That over there is ploughed by Julio, and that's Julio's Carabao down there, and Julio's Carabao will happily be, in fact we just missed watching Julio's Carabao in the Carabao pool, which is that pool of disgusting looking water there. Now I never approach the Carabao. They are extremely benign and gentle and friendly, and and unpredictable, and that's a combination that I tend to stay away from when the horns are that big. Now I have actually ridden one of those very briefly, but Beth has ridden that many times right from being a child, so she knows how to handle it. And here's Red. He's getting impatient. Come on, Red, let's go. Red. But this is the view up, and all of this land, the way that it follows its natural slope is where it's the easiest. Where it becomes difficult is where some foreigner comes along and says, why don't we have a road here? And we cut a road into this hill, and as you can see, the water now doesn't drain down in a natural way over grass and into the rice fields. It makes a mess on this road, and you can see all the water is coming down from that, and it's coming down in straight streams, and it gradually makes the road wider, but in a very messy way. Nature has a different view of what beauty is to what man does. But anyway, we will eventually we'll concrete this road. We've done small stretches where it really is impossible to have normal passage over, so we've actually concreted one particular place, which is over by what we call the secret house in the mountains. So when we first started, we had terrific fun. You wouldn't believe, probably if you are on the same, I don't know, oops, I can feel spots of rain, and that means if I don't get under that tree up there fairly quickly, I'll be soaked to the skin. So if you're getting sick, sorry about that. Come on guys, let's go. Come on. Yeah, so as I was saying, if you have the normal view of what charity is and helping, you're probably not in a situation where you can devote your life to helping. And we are most fortunate. Well, game. Okay, we're going to be okay for a moment. It won't rain for long. I said this when I first started, didn't I? Those black clouds look like they could give us some rain. So that's what's happening. But we can wait here for a while and then head for the blue skies, which is where we're going. But if you're in that situation where you've got a job, probably a job you hate, and you can allow a small portion of what you earn, if you're lucky, to helping others. We're fortunate in that we have people who have a very acute sense of needing to do that, and of course they empowered us to help them to do that, which we're very happy to do. But we can help people just because we want to. And we used to pass the secret house, what we called the secret house in the mountains. This is all mountains now because of the altitude that designates it as being high enough to be called a mountain. So I'm getting bored standing here, so I really should risk a little bit of rain. Not so bad. See, but what we were able to do back then was we just see somebody that we wanted to help them, we would help them. It was wonderful. Now it's become a little bit more regimented, or what shall we say, a little bit more organized. So it's not quite the same. But we looked at this house and we didn't need to be told that they were having trouble finishing, because it had a certain amount, a couple of places where it had a mac-on put on there, the cladding, and then it stopped, and it stayed like that, and stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed, and there was no change. So we said, why don't we get the Superman team and we'll order up enough mac-on to be able... By the way, the people were not living in the house, obviously. They were living far enough away that they wouldn't know what we were doing, hopefully. That was the idea. So we said, we'll just swoop in early one morning and we will blitz the job with 3 or 4 guys, and we'll put a mac-on the house, so that the next time they come to work on it, gosh, look what happened, somebody finished the house for us. And that was a great deal of pleasure for us. So that's what we decided. And then, wouldn't you know, timing is everything. And what happened was that I think I've ruined this video.